Okay, so we are back and we are actually going to start coding up the character generator that we did the user story mapping for. We have standalone Jasmine in here, meaning that we don't have NPM or anything like that. Where our plan right now is to build a version of this application that is straight up HTML, JavaScript, CSS without a lot of extra anything other than the testing framework. And we didn't even do NPM. We just did a copy in for Jasmine.
We're going old school or new school, depending on your school of thought, I guess.
You know, it's like fashion. And I just if it's not in fashion right now, you just wait 20 or 30 years and it'll come back around.
Yeah. Apparently, server-side rendered HTML is the new hotness now.
Yeah, which I thought we got rid of.
Yeah.
Depends on where the computing resources are best at any given time. Just as a refresher, we kind of determined that these are kind of the core things. The things that are below the line are for future slices of work, but this is kind of what we're going to focus on. We're going to be able to generate a character non-interactive, meaning there's no input from the user other than possibly a button, possibly just refreshing the page. There were a couple simplifications that there are some options whether or not you have these initial character points, and those could be all assigned up front, or they could be optionally used to purchase additional qualities later on. But we're going to just say for this first slice that all of those character points are going to be assigned up front, and we're not going to deal with a lot of the additional variation that comes with allowing those to be spent later. So question is, where do we want to start?
That is a good question.
So maybe, I don't know, I'll throw something out there based off of that. If we start maybe on the left, right, we could assign character points, and our first thing could be assigning random character points to the 4 different things, and our test essentially would just be that the random values of the 4 total up to however much we're supposed to total up to, which I think in the normal case is 13.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, we could even make it so that we pass in, here's how many character points you have, randomly assign them to the 4 areas.
Right.
That seems like a reasonable first function.
Yeah, I think so.
Seems sufficiently small, but also sufficiently large enough to be interesting.
Yeah. Okay, so we have a test that we should do something. Given what you just said, should assign all these called character points?
Yes. Character points.
How's that for a name of a test?
It sounds like a good
Looks
first
great.
pass.
Okay, we can always change it later. What's the thing that we want to call?
Assign character points. That seemed based off of our names for our narrative that we came up with. So assign character points, and then calculate other values, and then determine character qualities, and then determine goodie qualities, and then create character concept.
Do you want to have this return a character of some kind?
Right. It could, yeah. A character object of some sort.
So let me type a thing and then
Yeah.
tell me why it's terrible, and we'll do something else instead.
Yeah.
So then I was thinking of attributes. We could do like character dot mind body. I'm going to forget at least one. Spirit.
And heart.
Heart. And then expect sum of attributes to equal, just say 13 for now, since that's the default case, or
Well, and then on line 13, pass in 13, or sorry, line 3, pass in 13 to the function. So
Okay.
here's the character points
Yeah.
to assign, randomly assign them.
Okay, so something like that. I don't know. That's what I was thinking, but we could do something different if you want.
Yeah, my only thing is that like at each of these stages, we're gonna ask it to randomly generate something for us that we're gonna add on to a character.
Right.
And so
Which in vanilla JavaScript is okay because you can just add whatever you want. But
sure. So I think either we want to pass in a character that, and then I guess I'm trying to think about it more functionally.
we could say, oh, you have a empty character. I don't know. You'd say assign 13 character points to this character. Maybe they should go in the other order. I don't know.
You could also probably abstract that 13 points into a variable too, and you could have, that as the input for both your expect and
Character points to
character points.
some of these can probably be consts instead of lets, but I don't care right now.
Sure, yeah.
Okay, let's run the test.
Okay. Where did I put my tests? Not there. That's where I put my test. Okay. Oh, wait, this is not. Oh, because I'm doing the wrong thing. Sorry. Hold, please. There we go. If I run the right test file, that will work better. So it says assigned character points is not defined.
Okay, so that's red. So why don't we probably should have gotten there earlier, but we can at least define the function now.
Probably.
Let's run the test.
We do that. That should. Okay, so an expected not a number to equal 13. Meaning that the sum should be 13, but we got not a number instead.
So in JavaScript, if we add something that's not a number to a number, that's not a number, right?
Yeah.
So
we have to at least define all 4 of the different character things.
Yes, I think so. The way we have the test written, I think we do. So this is going to take a character, right?
Yeah, and then we need to do character dot mind.
Just want to do that for now. So
Yeah, we just do 0 for all of them. That's
okay,
good.
it is a number now.
There you go.
So that's good, and we could just test to make sure that our test works. I don't know what character has a 0 mind, 0 body, 0 heart. I mean, 0 spirit, 13 heart, but you can create such a character.
It's a great question. Yeah.
Do we?
I think you may have just revealed a sort of a hidden rule in the game that usually none of them, well, at most one attribute will be 0.
Oh. Maybe that can't be. That could be one of our tests at some point in the future.
Yeah.
So you said at most ones could be 0. So we still could have one that is 0.
Could be 0.
Oh, at most one could. Okay, sorry.
Yeah. So a character with a 0 body might be a ghost.
That could be entertaining.
Yeah.
So like technically our test passes. It's kind of a trivial case. Do we want to modify our existing test, add a test, or say the way we made our test passed is not how we actually want to make our test pass?
I'm okay with writing another test to force us to change stuff. Like,
should the name of our existing test be different?
so the tricky bit is that we want it to be random, right? So it's not going to be completely deterministic. So we can't, I think maybe the next thing to do is what Will said, is like say that none of them, like
Or
maybe we
maybe let's start with none of them should be less than 1, because that's probably a smarter and easier thing to check for. Right,
well, I think it's
so
hmm. But that's not the rule, right?
ultimately one of them could be a 0. Yeah, it's not recommended, but it's a thing that you can do.
Okay, so there's two conflicting things here potentially, right? What do we
Yep.
want the application to do, what versus what
Right.
is technically
What's possible. Right.
So I guess in that case, it's really, do we want that case to show up as one of the random cases more than is it possible in the game?
Yeah. My thought is maybe no, at least to start with. It was something we could add later, I suppose, if we wanted to. But in the base case, I would say, let's not have anything be a 0.
Okay.
Have them all be a minimum of 1.
So that means that all attributes have at least one.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm not gonna remove application yet. We can do that in a minute. And then say, I was thinking something like find the 2b. I guess we
Yeah,
could say greater than 0.
I'm not super familiar with Jasmine tests, but can you sort of table test with this particular test? Because then you could
Now,
maybe just check each one of the attributes to make sure none of them is less than 1.
Yeah, I don't
Or does it
think
make
you
sense
do
to
table testing.
just put all of that in the one test? Yeah. that's
Yeah, I was gonna start with just
fine.
having
Just do
all 4
each of.
attributes.
Okay.
Let's see if expected 0 to be greater than 0. Hey, look at that. 0 is not greater than
Good.
0. But now it is. But now my other test will fail.
Good, yeah.
Just doing that, right?
Yep, 14 not equal to 13.
But if I do that, then I'm good.
Sweet.
So I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and add expectations for all 4 of them. So then if I do, I can do that and it still works. All my tests pass, right?
Yeah.
Do we want to add a test? Do we want to refactor? Do we want to do a different implementation than this?
yeah, I think, well, I guess the question would be, do we have enough tests in place that will constrain us to do only things that are
Allowable.
I think so. I think these are
Feels
two
like
good
it.
guardrails, right?
Yeah, I think so. We don't need to worry. I don't think we need to worry about this case yet. But at some point, I was just thinking an easy way to make sure that we assign something to every attribute is to just start them all at 1 and subtract 4 from whatever number we pass in. Which means that the number that we pass in has to be at least 4 because otherwise,
Yeah.
do we want to test for that?
Well, according to the rules of the game, there's only three valid
Hmm,
numbers that could be passed in. So
Yep,
at
11,
that point,
13, or 15.
we could have something that indicates whether or not we're doing normal, heroic, or
hmm.
whatever, and we could let the function handle whether or not how many points it's supposed to be based on that. Again, part of it is how robust do we want the API to be versus how much do we trust ourselves to not do stupid things. So I don't know. Like, where is the boundary of
For
like
this particular case, I think I'm okay trusting us not to do stupid things. But maybe in the future, I'll be less trusting of future me. I don't know.
yeah. Um yeah, I think we stick with this for now and we'll deal with the problems as they come up.
Okay.
Yeah. So then for assigning, would it just make sense to, if you're gonna, sort of refactor that code in the main file, to say, hey, however many character points remain, assign between a random number between 1 and max. Well, I guess you can't do max. That's the tricky part, right? So that's why you were saying, hey, maybe we assign the 4 points to each of them as a starter.
And
Hmm.
yeah, I was
And then
thinking of doing something like so if we did something like this and then say
yeah,
-4 and then do like a for loop across the number of points remaining and just pick one of the four randomly pick one of the four properties, one of the four
And
attributes, excuse me.
and add them
Yeah.
to that one.
yeah, and add a random number to that one of, some points that are remaining.
Oh, we could do that.
Oh,
I was
no.
thinking we just go through each of basically iterate through the.
Oh, add one every time and just randomly pick the one that you're adding one to.
Oh yeah, Mike's
Yeah.
gonna type. Mike should type.
Okay, so
Yeah.
so we're saying we're gonna go from, well, we could do a decrementer. Oh, right. Sorry, I'm in JavaScript.
Yeah.
Let
Yeah.
okay, let I equal number of characters points to assign.
Is greater
Is
than 0.
greater than 0. Oh, this new keyboard. 0. And then I minus minus.
Yeah.
Minus.
Or no. Okay. So and then then we need how do we random in JavaScript?
You can do math.random.
Like capital M, right?
Yeah. Which gives you I think that gives you a number between 0 and 1.
Sure, just pseudo random number between 0 and 1.
A number between 0 and 1.
So I guess we could, since we know how many attributes there are, we could manually divide that up, or we could multiply it by 4 to get a number. Oh wait, no, if you multiply it by 4, then you have to do math.floor to it to get integer values from 0 to 3.
Yes.
Want to do it that way?
So then that's all right. Okay, so that'll give us between 0 and 3. Okay, and then we want to switch.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Okay. Um,
And like
Right.
curly there, I believe.
sorry. Okay. Okay, 0. Oh, sorry, 0.
Yeah.
Then we'll do character dot mind plus plus.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And a break.
Dang it. Okay, for those playing along at home, I recently got a Keyboardio Model 100, which has a very different layout
Ah,
for my
yeah.
characters than I've acclimated for typing English. But my
Yes, I still have a hard time typing code on my Ergo docs that I bought years ago, right? Because it's just not the same brain waves that I use to write English. I can write English on it all day, but I can't write code on it. It's such a pain.
so
See here, I thought you were going to blame it on the fact that you're using a Mac instead of.
No, the Mac is fine.
that's a whole different set of problems. I'm like starting to wonder like if this was more of a jump than we really wanted to take, but we'll see.
Yeah. It does feel like we're typing a lot of code before getting feedback, but
It does.
okay. Run the tests.
Yeah. Hey,
I think it worked.
Yeah, looks like it. Those should be valid values. It would be interesting to see what they are.
Ooh.
I mean, we could actually let me change it to be obviously wrong, and then run the test again. Okay, yeah. So we'd only get. I changed it so it'd only go down to 2.
Yeah.
Okay. Should we commit?
Ooh. Yes, I think we should.
We
We actually
should.
we've talked about in previous videos trying to like we're totally gonna do a git repo and then post it, and then we totally don't because we just get excited about writing code.
Yeah.
But since this is actually for something real, random character point assignment.
Random character attribute point assignment,
Sure.
something like that.
Sounds great.
Sure.
Okay. Okay, well, that's good. If we go back to our Miro board, I mean, when we were talking before, we talked about like, oh, well, maybe you want to assign a bunch of points to one attribute or something to favor some specific character class or play style or something. But I think we decided that we're not going to worry about that initially, at least anyway.
Yeah. So I think Will pointed out that maybe it'd be good to be able to see these values. So maybe we now take the JavaScript and integrate it with the HTML.
Ooh, okay.
Go full tracer bullet, walking skeleton. What's the other?
Okay. Well, for that, we'll need an HTML page that isn't our test page, probably. Is that,
That sounds about right.
do you want to put in source? Or do you want-
Sure. Yeah, I guess the source will be everything that gets deployed.
Yeah, I think so.
Mhm.
Okay, I can make one of those.
Yay.
Oh, let's see. Can I do? Oops, I meant to go here. So I just double click on it. Look, I can make an HTML page.
Hey, look,
I didn't.
I bet that page is even mobile friendly.
It's probably pretty mobile friendly. We could even like
Yeah.
look. Wow. Okay, maybe this maybe the font's too small.
Ah.
I don't know, refresh it though. Sometimes like,
Oh, yeah, sure. Sometimes the mobile stuff doesn't.
no, apparently.
Okay.
All right. Well,
Nest.
feature for the
Oh,
future.
okay. All right. Well, okay. Then we have the potential areas for improvement there. That's we can do that. All right. Well, we probably want our character gen JavaScript. How do we do that?
Yeah. So I wonder if before we do that, like if we
Uh-huh.
want to, like again, if we're,
You want to like put some stuff on the screen maybe first?
well, I'm just thinking like in terms of organizing a project, do we want to have all the JavaScript at our root? Do we want to have a JavaScript, like a JS folder? Like start thinking about that ahead of adding a bunch of stuff.
Hmm, that's a good question. I mean,
I don't know how much JavaScript we're going to have, but I assume we're going to have potentially additional files by the time we're done. Maybe not
Yeah.
with the first slice, but at some point.
at the moment, I would be fine to have them be at the root, but
Yeah. I'm just saying like we'd have to switch the spec runner and the index at some point, which might not be a big deal, but
yeah,
okay. I'm fine leaving it. That's fine. I was just bringing it up as a potential thing.
that is a good thing to think about, and it's possible that at at some point in the future we'll want to move them, but at the
Okay.
moment it would be changing this and changing whatever's in here.
Yeah. Just like if we get to multiple, then it becomes more. But
Yeah.
Okay. But we could grab from the spec runner, the line from the HTML, the
Oh,
reference.
that's true. We can't do that.
That way.
Oops.
That way we don't have to remember exactly what we're doing there. Okay. Now, on the page.
Do you want like a script at the end that calls our
Yeah.
thing? So if we do like what character, what do we just call it? Assign. I don't remember what we called it now. Assign
Assign
character points. Oh, I forgot. We changed how we did this a little bit. Sorry for that. Do you want me to put this in a variable for now or not yet?
Yeah, well, I assume at some point this is actually probably going to call some like a create character function that will
Figure
do
this
that.
part out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'll be abstracted away from the actual page, but this will get us to where we actually have something that we can do.
Okay. Do you want some controls on here that will we can assign different values to, something like that?
Yeah, I mean, we just, yeah.
Do you want what do you want? Do you want like
Just, I mean, I just even
just want
just,
P's? P tags?
yeah.
Something?
I mean, it could be, I mean, the fanciest I'm thinking is maybe an ordered list, unordered list.
Oh, we could do that. Unordered list. Do you want to give them IDs?
Yeah, based off of the names, right? So,
What
mind,
did I start in? I can't remember. Do you want?
mind, body, spirit, and heart.
Do you just want mind? Not that. You want mind attribute value or something? I don't know.
Let's start with this.
It'll be interesting to go back afterwards and see if I put these all in the same order every time or not. Okay, so I want to go and is it document dot get element by ID? Yeah. Element?
Yeah.
We see if we can do one.
Only do one and,
Like make sure that one works.
oh, yes, yes. Let's,
Is it
yeah.
inner HTML?
Well, we're just doing text, right? We're just putting the text in there unless we're going to put something.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's just put the text in there equal to character dot mind.
And,
Let's see.
see what it does. Like it's 3, and then 4, and then 2. Well, that's cool looking.
Yeah.
Ooh, what if
That's
we
promising.
go crazy and do that?
Hmm.
See, I was starting to wonder if we want to have that be part of the HTML itself, but
Yeah, we could do that too.
no. That way we change our ID to be a span or something that's inside there.
Yeah.
Is that the right thing?
Maybe
Mind. Yeah. And then we'll move the ID.
here. Oh, huh. Let's take that one off too.
Yeah.
Hey, look, it looks the same.
Excellent.
Okay. Same thing on these.
Yes.
Should we try that?
I don't know if that's going to cause problems at some point.
Which part?
The fact that it's body.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, I guess we'll see.
Okay.
See if that
Let's
works.
see. Very cool.
Yeah. And that one
So,
at least adds up to 13. So proof by one example.
yeah. So, I think for the purposes of YouTube, we should wrap up this video and then we could start the next one.
Ooh. Do you want me to commit as part of this video?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay.
So finish up this recording. So again, kind of, well, Jon is committing. So we created a function driven by tests to randomly assign character points to the 4 different areas. And we got that wired up to a very beautiful front end that at some point we will beautify with non Times New Roman fonts and other things. But I think if we get to a point where we have it all the information displaying, then that will be a good first step, and then we can style it.
Yeah. I agree. So apologies to any of my designer friends who may happen to watch this far in the video, but it'll get better, I promise.
All of your designer friends.
Yes.